En dat zal niet onderuit gaan. Dat is het
Hello, everybody. Welcome here at the Skyline booth. I hope you are ready for an exciting IBC because we are as well, and it's a pleasure to welcome you here. I have a few things to explain to you, a little bit of a summary of what we're going to be showing here at the show, and you should be able to follow on some of the other screens as well. I'm going to get started. I'm going to get started because it's quite a bit. Okay. At the last years, we have been developing a lot of new features and capabilities. But the central theme of what we have here at the show is about empowering people, because that's what the new ages are all about. It's about empowering people to convert data and controls into value. That's what the new world is all about. Okay. It's really about talented engineers that understand the goals and basically convert data and controls into value. And everybody can be a creator and an innovator today. That's the key message that we deliver these days. So if you look at it, DataMiner today, it's really a digital transformation platform. It's a platform that gives you modular, easy to use functions that DevOps engineers can use to create and design. It's really about taking the data and the controls, looking at the goals and objectives, and designing solutions around that. And of course, I'm going to just move forward quite quickly because we have a lot of updates. I'm going to do it in two parts. Part number one is really about the platform itself, the highlights of all the changes that we have there. Now, if you look at the platform, okay, we have a lot of new innovations. In the first place, our Augmented Operation. This is really about our AI capabilities. So the ability to tap into that massive amount of data, because you have a lot of data in your operation, but the key challenge is to be able to get the insights on the data. You may know already that DataMiner was already doing forecasting, anomaly detection, the ability to look at any metric in your operation, whether that be a bit stream, number of online users, error corrections, and to understand the behavior of metrics and to detect anomalies. We have proactive alarms. So the ability to analyze the data and to notify you at a very early stage on what is going to happen in your operation. Focus alarms, pattern matching, automatic incident tracking, and relationship learning. So you will find some demos here that show some really sophisticated applications. Very important in the DataMiner platform in terms of evolutions is our object modeling. Okay, it's still abstract, but DataMiner is becoming a platform that connects people with the technology. And if you want to connect people with the technology, it's very important to be able to capture your entire operation. So our object modeling allows you to create objects for anything that is important. Bookings, schedules, satellite frequencies, infrastructure, rooms, people, OB vans, anything that you deem necessary can be digitized in DataMiner. You can create those objects and basically create a digital twin of your entire operation, including all the possible workflows that will come. So object modeling, although it is abstract, it's really a game changer. And you will see that reflected in a lot of the demos and some of the demos that I will show you in just a second. So that's number one, object models. Number two, user-definable apps. This is massive, okay? There's a new trend going on. In the past, every software application that you see has its own user interface. And no matter if the manager or a team member is looking at the user interface, it's the same user interface. User-definable apps gives you the power to create new user interfaces. And you will see hundreds of examples here of user-definable apps, all apps that you could have created yourself. And the powerful thing is that the user-definable apps really redefine how people interact with the operation. Now, this is a game changer. Object modeling is a game changer, but I would say object modeling is the gasoline, and this is the lighter, and if you bring them together, you get fire, okay? You get an explosion. You can really unleash creativity, and that's very important. And I will show you in just a second a few of the apps that we have been designing for the media and broadcast industry. But this is very important in terms of the foundational capabilities. Furthermore, user-definable APIs, very, very important as well, okay? In this world, it's not only about interfacing with humans and people, but also platform-to-platform connections and being able to do that. Check out some of the demos, okay? This is also massive. Massive in the sense that when you have somebody from your finance team that wants to interface with your digital twin, you can literally deploy a new bespoke API for that person. And it's a very, very quick way of making connections with other platforms. What used to take literally sometimes weeks can now be done in half a day. So that's also very important. Of course, we have our cloud services. Anybody with a DataMiner platform can connect to our cloud platform. It's a single connection. You verify it once, you establish it once, you have that once, put in place, and immediately it unleashes a whole set of new functions and capabilities out of the box. The ability to share data and controls with anybody in the world, just like that. The ability to remote connect, the ability to interact with your digital twin through Microsoft Teams, redefining how people use data and cloud, continuous integration, CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous deployment. Maybe not everybody is very familiar with that, but it becomes increasing in this new world that we see. Proactive support, and last but not least, just something we started very recently, storage as a service. As you know, very brief, a DataMiner system needs data storage, typically Cassandra, Elastic Cluster. Now, you could say like, hey, I'm spending a lot of time sizing, setting it up, maintaining that. What you can choose now is to say, hey, let's get rid of that and basically use our cloud connection to serve as a storage function. 0 time to deploy. You can deploy that instantly, connect and forget. You don't have to worry about scaling up and down. So it's really a no-brainer. And if you look at the cost compared to a on-premises hosted storage, this is really the way to go forward. So that's also new. What else do we have? Usage-based licensing of DataMiner. Talk to our salespeople. If you have a system today based on perpetual use licenses, you can also consider usage-based, okay? That's going to be a good fit, not for everybody. It's a matter of choice. But it's really about the ability to say, hey, I want to align my cost with the size of my operation or the dynamics of my operation. So it depends a little bit if you have a permanent deployment or if you have more a seasonal type of business. DataMiner as a service is coming up. So that's going to be launching very, very soon. Of course, it's using also our storage as a service. But in this case, you choose to have DataMiner completely as a service. So you don't want to host any more components. So you will see that you have all these modular choices on what is the best fit for you. Do you want it on-prem? Do you want to have it hosted in the cloud? Do you want it as a service? Do you want to have it as a perpetual use license or usage-based? So there's a lot of different combinations there. DataMiner Integration Studio, okay, which used to be the front end for development of connectors, is now free of charge, okay? We just announced that last week. It's free of charge, available for everybody, number one. Number two, very important, this is much more than connectors. This is a front end that you can connect to any industry standard CI/CD pipeline combined with GitHub. and basically deploy all sorts of extensions for your DataMiner system. If your manager asks you the same question every single day, I would go in there and create the ChatOps command, a custom one, and tell my manager, next time go on Teams and just ask for whatever you're asking there, and you're going to get up-to-date information. So user-definable APIs, profile loads, ad hoc data sources, GUI operators, they're all basically designed in this integration studio, which is now available free of charge. Very exciting. We have a first demo here at the booth. We will have soon our scripted connectors. As you may know, one of the strengths of DataMiner is it has been integrated with 8,000 products from more than 800 different vendors. However, building a DataMiner driver requires knowledge, okay? DataMiner specific knowledge. This is a new way to design drivers on the fly. And I promise you, without any prior knowledge of DataMiner or the structure of a driver, your engineers, they themselves will be able to take your DataMiner system and make it communicate with a new data source or a new product in a matter of hours, okay? Very quickly, using any language of their preference. Could be Python, could be PowerShell, whatever those people know. But this is going to be a game changer. This is going to allow you to say in the morning, hey, we could benefit from that data over there on this database, and you could have your engineer connect DataMiner without a new driver that you require from us with that new data source and to bring it into your operation in no time. Again, a real game changer. And of course, I just want to wrap up the general updates on the platform. It's not just about the technology. I always say today it's about community, it's about people, it's people that connect, exchange experiences and creativity. Our community is now growing faster than ever. There's a global community of people in the media industry from everywhere that have joined that community where they learn, where they exchange experiences and all those things. And this is pretty exciting because we're moving in an IT world. We have to adapt to IT standards, okay? IT software is open communities sharing and all of that. So that's coming up. And of course, we have our DevOps professional program for developers, people that work on DataMiner systems. And I would really recommend everybody to join the program that we have there. One thing, just to wrap it up, we had our Empower events. I don't know if you have attended some of these events, some of you may have. We had them all over the different locations. They were where people get hands-on and start developing and learning about DataMiner. We're going to have those events again in the second half of this year. Different places, Atlanta, I think in Barcelona, in Dubai, etc. But we will have, start from October, Empower Shorts. And Empower Shorts, we're on a weekly basis, we're going to go live for half an hour, 45 minutes to teach people about small topics so that we have that continuous learning. So that's coming up as well. So we're really investing in everything we can to empower the community to create with DataMiner. But of course, it's not just about the platform. And we're here at a media show. So I want to, if I need to show you one solution, I'm going to focus a little bit here on the media business. If people are in the satellite or other types of businesses, we have a lot of other examples. But solutions are important, and especially at this time. Media ops. What is media ops? This is media ops, what you see around here. This is a new industry. This is a new frontier, okay? Some people say like, hey, this industry is changing in software ICT. Yes, but then again, it's not regular software ICT. It's a very specific one. So what you see is, a lot of IT software related capabilities and mindsets and philosophies and structures and products coming into the industry. It's about being data-driven, DevOps, continuous evolution, agility, etc., security, but still very specific components of the media industry. Live services, real operation, always on, control, very important. So it's not your plain vanilla type of ICT software. That's what we call media ops in general, okay? It's not about building a platform and then running and operating it for 4, 5, 6 years. No, it's running an operation and evolving that operation. So we're working on a new solution called DataMiner.MediaOps, okay? Our ultimate goal was there to build a perfect symbiosis between media and ICT to bring those two new worlds together. This is building on our existing experience, because don't be mistaken, since more than 10 years, and nobody has done anything like that, we have done orchestration, resource management, and all those things. We have done that. More than 10 years that we have fully automated booking systems and scheduling systems up and running. But we said, okay, we need to retake this, okay? We need to take that experience, but consider it now in the world of user-definable apps, object modeling, open sources, okay? So the DataMiner Media Ops solution is going to be an open source solution out of the box that you can load on a DataMiner system to run and manage a media operation, okay? So this is going to be a very exciting new solution designed for the new world, but at the same time, very important, also taking care of the legacy, because you want to have that gradual transition. It's going to support live, filed, scheduled ad hoc, and very important, from engagement to planning to scheduling to deploying a service, monitoring that service, operating and controlling that service, to billing, and all the way to optimization. The full cycle, okay? It starts with engagement with customers and different departments, gathering information, planning all of that, allocating resources, deploying those services, monitoring those services, operating those services, looking at the billing and the finance of the service, and then afterwards, you still have a huge opportunity to optimize the of my resources. So all of that is culminating into that DataMiner Media Ops solution, which is not finished, by the way, okay? It's still a work in progress, but to give you a little bit of a sample of what I'm talking about, engagement. This app, you could have built and designed it, and it basically has events and, you know, all kinds of things. But this is, you know, an app that I can expose to an external party and say, hey, if you want to work with me and you want to plan a software or a production with me, go there, you know, enter all the data, make your request, and I create a digital relation company rather than emails and all of those things. That information is flowing seamlessly, for example, into an registration booking solution. Again, a user-definable app. You could have created, I see the requests coming in. I can look at all my Tour de France, show the details. I can add metadata. And again, all the information is fully user-definable. And then you can start scheduling and planning, okay? Now, we support a lot of different use cases. Anything from manual planning, where I would take an event and I hand select my resources and all that, all the way to fully automatic, you know, where a request comes in and all the resources are booked automatically and scheduled automatically. So full resource scheduling, full management of all your resource pools, okay? That includes all your technology infrastructure, cloud, on-prem, people, OB vans, rooms, you name it, satellite frequencies. Everything is basically a component that you can start adding. This Resource Studio allows you to manage those resources, what are capabilities and all that. And then we have, for example, over here, a resource schedule. Okay, this resource scheduler, and we have demos on this, allows you to say, hey, for that current work order, we're going to go to the pools, we're going to look at which resources are available and which resources can be used, taking into account plant maintenance and a lot of other things. And then we move on. We have our virtual signal groups. Okay, if you go to an IP world, you can have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of IP streams. Our virtual signal groups allow you, rather than using Excel sheets and all that, you can make a full inventory of all those services and you can bring everything together. You can add metadata to organize it, different departments, different teams, different things. All of that culminates then. You can do flow tracking, visualize services. We're getting more into the monitoring part once everything is deployed and start visualizing services, for example. But also, for example, we integrate with a lot of other technologies, because if there's one thing that we're a big fan of is modularity and choices, okay? You can use DataMiner to orchestrate, but you could also say, hey, I'm a big fan of this or this product, and I want to integrate with that specific platform. So we've been building more and more integrations, like, for example, over here, where you can see this TechX, and all of this is on demo if you want to see more details, where you can provide users. Again, with a user-definable app, you could have designed and created this. You decide what information you show, how you visualize it, what kind of controls you provide. But you can make the most complex service and the most complex environment a very user-friendly, easy thing for people to interact with. This is an example where we interface with Hi, which is another solution. And you can see, for example, how we can make cross connects. You know, we have our schedules over here. We can load different types of presets, and pay attention, this is very important. When I'm loading presets and all of that and doing, potentially I'm even taking data that was entered in the first screen from the external user when he was making the booking, taking that metadata and bring it into this environment in one seamless flow. Okay, not a single integration had to be done. Then we have other examples like an Evian iPath integration, for example, or a NetInsight integration. And again, all those apps, the visualization, you know, what you can do, how you can right click, the controls, it's in your hands. You choose how you design it, you choose how you display it, whether you want to have button panels, whether you want to have a simple connect or a scheduled connect, all of those things are perfectly possible. Again, it's all up to you to design it, to lay it out, etc., in a continuous fashion. You can see some examples here. We have a lot of technology partners. This is a Peer TV solution, for example. You can see how I have a connect, but also a scheduled connection, and a lot of things, you know, like drilling down, being able to quickly select resources, quickly control resources, all in lightweight HTML5 apps. Of course, you have your monitoring, like, for example, with Bridge Technologies. So we have multiple probes in the system. We can select services. We can look at different flows. You can lay it out whatever you want. And with Bridge, we also have integration with all the widgets that they have in their system. And then, of course, you can take all that data, but you could also create different types of interfaces. So, for example, a typical one would be a control panel, you know, with different buttons, different functions for people to easily interact, build services, evolve services, and control services. So all of those things are all built with user-definable apps. And user-definable apps is really about me saying, okay, who do we have in the organization? How do we empower them? What do we provide them with? And you can make different flavors and different versions, different layouts. And again, you know, you could have information on that label. It could be coming from anywhere because you have that unified digital twin and that you bring everything into the system. This is an example of resource optimization. Very important, okay? You book, you schedule, you use resources, but there's a lot of money in those resources. Are you using those effectively? So we're looking at building more and more solutions now with the user-definable apps because this is the same data that you use, you know, everywhere in all the other apps, but you look at it from a different angle. Cloud utilization, resource utilization, booking, billing, you know, also cost. We have some nice solutions. I'm just going to wrap it up, but these are just some highlights because media ops is not only about live services and scheduled services, it's also going to be about, for example, file-based assets. And how can I build a beautiful app that is going to look at all my file-based assets to see where they are in the entire chain, you know, if there's any assets with files missing and to resolve those things. So it's really about digitizing all those different workflows. The only thing I want to emphasize here is that no matter how beautiful media ops is, the DataMiner media ops solutions, the real game changer for me is how it's designed and built. Open source, user-definable apps. The apps you can get from us, but you can evolve them. You could say, hey, in my case, for example, I want to have a button here. I want this information over here. I want to be able to take this information from the app from Skyline and combine it with this information from another app, because from an organizational perspective, it makes more sense to me. So being able to evolve and then tailor it to your exact environment, your exact workflows, is a real game changer. This is a new environment. And everything under the hood is powered by CI/CD pipelines and open source automation and orchestration. So if tomorrow you would say, hey, I'm going to invest in Bridge and I want to bring that into that ecosystem, you can make it a seamless integration with everything you have already. So that capability is very important because you get new technology every single day. I know it was a lot, okay? There's a lot of different topics in terms of platform evolutions and the media ops solutions. And for people that are not in the media industry, there's plenty of other examples. We have already literally hundreds of apps. To give you an example, the same apps we have been working with Optus, a satellite operator. They wanted to have a solution for people to plan missions, okay? To make a request to have a mission with communication over satellite, and convert that in bookings, allocate capacity on satellite, allocate resources like modems, etc., and automatically spin up a complete satellite connection. Completely different world, but the same technology, the same environment provides that in an entirely new way. So I would say enjoy the show. This was just some highlights. There's a lot more. Feel free to go and grab the people here that you see with this kind of shirt. They should know all the details about this. Thank you very much and enjoy the show. Thank you.